Hello everybody! In today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make this easy Shamrock quilt block. You can do it 3 different ways. You can put it on point as such, like this. You can square it up this way with a stem to the right, or you can do it this way with a stem to the left. So whatever way works best for you. This is a 3-leaf clover or an Irish shamrock. So let's get into it. Now, what you will need, these are all 2.5-inch blocks. Unfinished, without the border. This is an 8.5-inch unfinished block without the border. I put on a 2-inch border, which makes this about 10.5 inches. And I did the 2-inch so I could trim it down to 9.5 inches if I wanted, or even 9 inches if you wanted to do it that way. So the border is trimmable. So this can vary depending on whatever pattern you're looking for. Now, to make the shamrock itself, you need 12 2.5-inch squares. Now, mine is super scrappy. You don't have to make yours as scrappy as mine. I have 12 different 2.5-inch squares. You can make it a lot less scrappy. You're also going to need, now this can vary also. These are 1.25-inch blocks. And you can see the V in here is not as deep as in some patterns that you might see online or in some quilt books. I think they use 1.5-inch blocks, but I didn't want the V as deep, so I made mine 1.25-inch blocks. You need 9 of these to make one block. So to make one block this size, 9.5 inches, say, if you want a 9.5-inch raw edge block, you need 12 2.5 inches, scrappy, whatever color you want. Actually, I'm using green. You need 9 1.25 if you're going to make it my way, or you can do 1.5-inch squares of your background color. You need 1 4.5-inch background color square, and then this stem is 1.5 inches wide, and then it's 6 inches long. Now these are trimmable, these borders, and like I said before, I used a 2-inch border, and that is to give myself enough wiggle room, so if I wanted to trim it down to 9.5 inches, I could do that. Since my other squares in my quilt block are on the 3-inch pattern or the 3-inch multiple, let's say they're on the 3-inch multiple, so 3.5-inch block, 6.5-inch block, 9.5-inch block, 12.5-inch block. So this actually measures 10.5 inches if I don't trim this border down. So you can do whatever you want. You can make this border a lot bigger if you wanted to. So again, 3 different ways. You can put it on point. You can put your stem this way, or you can put your stem this way. Whatever works for you. And if you really wanted to be slick, make 4 of these and then do one this way, one this way, one this way, and one that way. Or however you want to do it. All right, you guys. So that's the material that you need. Now, to make one of these, now you need 9 of these, because as you can see, you only have 3 whole 2.5-inch blocks right in the center that's connected to the stem. The other 9 around the edges, they all have the little background cut out right there. And this is super easy to make. So you start chain piecing. You just want to chain piece these. So let me show you how to do one. Now I'll bring it down here. So I have my 2.5, And I have my 1.5 inch, and I put right sides together, and make sure that you measure up both sides so both of these are equal, the same. Okay. Now, if you want to, you can draw a line because you're just sewing from corner to corner. So get your straight edge. And if you want to be precise about it, straight edge, corner to corner, and then you sew on just on the opposite side of this. So let me show you. I'm going to try to come in a little closer here. So you want to put your thread right along this side, along the outer edge, okay? Put your thread just along there so that when you fold this over, the fabric folds over the thread, and you have now replaced this part, your color part, with your background. Okay? We have done this procedure before. So just take it over to the machine. Line it up exactly where you want it to be. If you want to, you can throw in a pin right here. Let me bring this a little bit closer. Maybe you can see that. And I'm just going to sew right down on just a little bit on the outside of that line. And then when I fold this over, it replaces that edge. Okay? You can leave that there if you want, or you can simply trim this off. So you can leave a 1/4 inch, or whatever works. And now you have replaced that edge. You want to do this 9 times. Now, to make these blocks, you need, oops, I just threw that to the floor. Oops. You need, now if you break this down, let's take a look at this. See, here is a square, here is a square, here is a square, here is a square, and here is a square. So it's a 4 patch. Once you make this square, this square, this square, these are all 3 the same. And once you make that's your leaf for the clover, and then you make this little unit here, and that becomes a 4 patch, and then you just stick those 4 patches together to create your 3-leaf clover. Now let's look at this carefully. So let me pick up a piece that fell to the floor. You can see that this piece goes here this way. This piece, you turn it and it goes here this way. And then for here, this piece, you turn it, goes there. So I'm going to leave this up on the screen so you can see how to place this in your square. So basically you have one whole 2.5 inch square block right there, and then you put 3 of these around it. So you can see this block goes can't see on the fabric on the screen backwards, this way. So what I would do is put these 2 together, chain piece that, put these 2 together, and then these 2 together. Like this, like this, and then like this. You guys can see, I'm just messing it up. You guys, if I just show you how it looks, you guys can put it together. Once you make 9 of these, lay it out on your surface, on your flat surface, in this pattern, because you want to create a rounded edge around your leaves. And that's how you do that. Now this part is a little bit more tricky. So for this, what you want to do is take your 4.5 inch square background piece and then slice it diagonal to diagonal, right down the center. Cut it, slice it, however, so those 2 pieces come apart. Then you take your stem piece, the 1.5 inch by 6 inches, and you place that right side down. So, see, for example, this was my stem piece, and this is my block. I don't really have a good, I don't have a good block. But say this was the cut piece. You want to place this right sides together. Here's my block. Place that there. Sew it down. Open it up. Take the other half of the block. Right sides together on that open piece. Right sides together. And then you open that up. And that becomes, I know this is horrible. I'm not really sewing it, but now you can kind of see, maybe get a visual of how that works. Yeah, I'm not going to cut it and sew it because I don't have one done. But you can see how that now creates this new 4.5 inch block. Just trim it up, and then you have your 4th patch for your 4 patch. Sew the 4 patches together, and then sew your sides on. So one side, and then the other side. And there you go. There's your clover for St. Patrick's Day, for our quilt block of the month. You guys have fun making this. If you have any questions, let me know. I can actually do a showing it live tutorial if you need to. All right. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.